Yo, what's up internet? It's your boy Wondersphere, and we're about to dive deep into the wild world of influencers. From stunts that have the internet gasping to life-threatening pranks, influencers are crossing lines like they're on a daredevil mission. But just how far are these guys willing to go for clout? Spoiler alert, way further than you think. From Logan Paul's forest mishap to the endless stream of fake life hacks, influencer culture in 2024 might just be darker than your last Netflix binge. Stick around to see how they're turning viral fame into a full-blown circus. Let's face it, who didn't want to be an influencer back in the day? All it takes is a phone, a ring light, and bam, you're living the dream, right? Well, for guys like KSI and me, it's more than that. We've turned content creation into a multi-million-dollar empire. We're talking crazy brand deals, merch flying off the shelves, and enough subscribers to populate a small country. But not all that glitters is gold. As influencers rise, so do the risks. The higher you climb, the harder you fall, right? And trust me, some of these guys are in for a bumpy ride. KSI, one of the biggest names in YouTube. Dude's a legend. But remember that time he almost got canceled for his old music videos and controversial comments? The internet never forgets, my friend. Or what about the time he launched a literal energy drink that might just be a bit too energizing for some? I'm all for hustling, but sometimes you gotta draw the line before the FDA comes knocking. The price of fame. It's a double-edged sword, you know? One minute you're swimming in subscribers, the next you're drowning in drama. Now, let's talk about the shocking content. In today's digital age, it seems like the more outrageous the content, the more attention it garners. Social media platforms are flooded with influencers who are willing to go to extreme lengths just to get noticed. From dangerous stunts to controversial actions, these influencers are constantly pushing the envelope to stand out in a crowded space. If there's one thing these influencers know how to do, it's grabbing attention. They've mastered the art of creating content that shocks, surprises, and sometimes even horrifies their audience. It's a strategy that works because in a world where everyone is vying for a few seconds of your attention, the most outrageous content often wins. I mean, who needs talent when you can just film yourself doing something crazy, right? It's almost as if the more dangerous or ridiculous the stunt, the more views it gets. And views, as we know, translate to fame and money in the influencer world. It's a simple equation: shock equals attention, and attention equals revenue. Logan Paul? Yeah, he's the guy who thought filming a dead body in Japan's suicide forest was a good idea. That video sparked outrage and controversy, but it also brought him a massive amount of attention. It's a clear example of how far some influencers are willing to go to stay relevant. Not the smartest move, Logan, but hey, it sure got the views, millions of them. And in the world of social media, views are the currency that matters most. The more views you get, the more influence you have, and the more money you can make. It's a cycle that keeps feeding itself. And then there's Jake Paul, who needs to make money, so why not blow up a mansion for views? It's another example of how shock value is used to capture the audience's attention. The more extreme the action, the more likely it is to go viral. Nothing says good content like a literal explosion, right? It's almost as if there are no boundaries anymore. The more dangerous and outrageous the stunt, the more likely it is to be shared and talked about. It's a risky game, but for many influencers, it's a game worth playing. Honestly, these guys aren't just influencers, they're stuntmen. They're willing to put their safety on the line for the sake of content. It's a dangerous trend, but it's one that's becoming increasingly common. The line between entertainment and recklessness is becoming more and more blurred, and their content's like a ticking time bomb. Literally, each new video is a gamble, a risk that could go horribly wrong. But that's part of the appeal. The danger adds an element of excitement that keeps viewers coming back for more. But here's the thing. When did we become so desensitized to this stuff? At what point did we start accepting this kind of content as normal? It's a troubling trend that raises questions about our collective psyche. Are we so starved for entertainment that we're willing to watch someone risk their life for a few likes? Are we really that starved for entertainment that we're willing to watch someone risk their life for a few likes? It's a sobering thought, but it's one that needs to be addressed. The more we consume this kind of content, the more we encourage influencers to take bigger and bigger risks. It's like we're living in a real-life episode of Black Mirror where the lines between reality and the internet are blurred, and the crazier the content, the more views it gets. The more outrageous the behavior, the more likely it is to be rewarded with likes, shares, and comments. It's a cycle that's hard to break. And the worst part? It's working. These influencers are gaining fame and fortune by pushing the boundaries of what's acceptable. The more shocking the content, the more successful they become. It's a trend that shows no signs of slowing down. These influencers are making bank by pushing the boundaries, and the more outrageous they get, the more famous they become. It's a dangerous game, but for many, the rewards are worth the risks. As long as there's an audience for this kind of content, influencers will continue to push the limits and the cycle will continue. But let's be real, some influencers aren't just shocking, they're manipulating. They've mastered the art of capturing attention, but at what cost? The line between entertainment and exploitation is getting blurrier by the day. They've got millions of followers who hang on their every word, every post, and every recommendation. These influencers have become modern-day celebrities, wielding immense power over their audience. And they're using that power to sell you stuff you don't need. From beauty products to tech gadgets, they're constantly pushing something. But how often do we stop to think about the authenticity of these promotions? Take James Charles, for example. He's a household name in the beauty community, known for his makeup tutorials and vibrant personality. He's no stranger to promoting beauty products, often showcasing the latest palettes and skincare items. His influence is undeniable and brands are eager to collaborate with him. But let's not forget that scandal with his mystery palette. It was a product shrouded in secrecy, hyped up to the max, but ultimately left many fans disappointed. I mean, James, I get it, you gotta make a buck, but this palette was a mystery we didn't want to solve. It felt like a cash grab, a way to capitalize on his massive following without delivering real value. And the backlash was swift. Fans felt betrayed, questioning the integrity of someone they once trusted implicitly. This isn't just about one influencer, it's a pattern we see across the board. And don't even get me started on those get-rich-quick schemes. Tana Mongeau, she's practically built an empire around her no-filter persona, selling everything from merch to dubious financial advice. She practically built an empire around no filter. But I guess some things are better left unsaid. Her fans adore her unfiltered approach, but it's a double-edged sword. Like, when influencers push products they haven't even tried, it's a breach of trust. They're leveraging their influence for profit, often at the expense of their followers' wallets and well-being. It's one thing to promote a product you genuinely believe in, but it's another to push something you've never even used. The authenticity is lost, and the relationship with the audience becomes transactional, or those absurd get-rich-quick schemes. They promise the world but deliver nothing but disappointment. It's a classic bait and switch, preying on the hopes and dreams of vulnerable followers. Are we sure that's a life hack, or just a quick way to empty your wallet? These so-called hacks often turn out to be nothing more than clever marketing ploys, or just a quick way to empty your wallet. The cycle of manipulation continues, leaving consumers frustrated and disillusioned. The real question, when did sponsored content become a euphemism for "trust me, I'll sell you anything for a check"? The lines between genuine recommendations and paid promotions have blurred beyond recognition. It's like they've forgotten that, with great power comes great responsibility. Influencers have a duty to their audience, a responsibility to be honest and transparent, or maybe they just don't care. As long as the checks keep rolling in, the ethical considerations take a back seat. The allure of luxury and fame often overshadows the need for integrity. As long as the checks keep rolling in, they'll keep pushing whatever product or brand is paying the bills, and the saddest part, it's working. The cycle of manipulation continues unabated. They'll keep pushing whatever product or brand is paying the bills, and the saddest part, it's working. People are buying into these scams, these fake promises, because they trust these influencers. People are buying into these scams, these fake promises, because they trust these influencers. They believe in the curated personas and the seemingly genuine endorsements, because they trust these influencers. They think that because someone has millions of followers, they must be trustworthy. But follower count doesn't equate to integrity. They think that because someone has millions of followers, they must be trustworthy. But follower count doesn't equate to integrity. It's time we start questioning the ethics behind the influence. But hey, let's take a moment for the real struggle, mental health. Behind all those perfectly curated Instagram pics, these influencers are battling burnout, anxiety, and a whole lot of pressure to maintain that perfect image. PewDiePie, Mr. Meme King himself, yeah, even he had his battles with taking a break from YouTube to avoid a meltdown. Poor guy was going through more than just 7 days to die. Emma Chamberlain has openly talked about taking breaks for her mental health, and honestly, good for her. The internet might love your memes, but burnout doesn't care if you're a trendsetter or a king of the internet. Let's face it, being an influencer might be the one job where the stress is as viral as the content. You're constantly on, constantly creating, constantly trying to please millions of people you've never met. It's no wonder so many of them are cracking under pressure. The constant scrutiny, the hate comments, the pressure to be perfect. It takes a toll. And the worst part? They're often afraid to speak out about it. They don't want to seem weak, they don't want to lose followers, they don't want to jeopardize their brand. So, What's next in this influencer saga? Are you ready for AI influencers? The world of social media is evolving at a breakneck pace, and the latest trend is the rise of AI-generated influencers. These digital personas are crafted with such precision that they can mimic human behavior and emotions almost flawlessly. Imagine scrolling through your feed and coming across an influencer who looks perfect, never ages, and is always on point with the latest trends. Sounds intriguing, right? No, not some robot with a camera, it's already happening. These AI influencers are designed to engage with followers just like any human would. They can respond to comments, share stories, and even collaborate with brands. The technology behind these virtual influencers is so advanced that it's hard to tell them apart from real people. They have their own personalities, backstories, and even personal struggles, all meticulously crafted by their creators. Virtual influencers like Lil Miquela are taking over the scene, and these influencers don't even need to worry about getting cancelled. Lil Miquela, for instance, has millions of followers, and has collaborated with top fashion brands. She's a digital creation, yet she has a fan base that rivals many human influencers. The appeal of these virtual influencers lies in their perfection, and the fact that they can be controlled to avoid any PR disasters. I mean, good luck canceling an AI who has no feelings. These digital beings don't have emotions, so they can't be hurt or offended. They don't have personal lives that can lead to scandals, and they don't need breaks. They are always available, always perfect, and always on brand. This makes them incredibly appealing to companies looking for reliable and consistent brand ambassadors. Who needs humans when you've got perfectly curated avatars that can smile 24/7 without taking a mental health break, right? These AI influencers can work around the clock, never needing rest or downtime. They can be programmed to exhibit the perfect emotions and reactions, making them ideal for maintaining a flawless online presence. But is this really what we want from our influencers? If this is the future, we might all just end up following virtual friends in the metaverse. The metaverse is a digital universe where people can interact, socialize, and even live out their lives through avatars. In this virtual world, AI influencers could become our new best friends, guiding us through digital experiences and shaping our online interactions. It's a fascinating yet somewhat unsettling prospect. At least they won't film themselves doing dumb pranks. Or maybe they will. The creators behind these AI influencers have the power to script any scenario, including pranks and humorous content. This means that virtual influencers could potentially engage in the same kind of viral antics that human influencers do, all while being carefully controlled to avoid any real-world consequences. Who knows what kind of crazy algorithms these tech geniuses are cooking up? The technology behind AI influencers is constantly evolving, with developers working on more sophisticated algorithms to make these digital personas even more lifelike. From advanced facial recognition to natural language processing, the possibilities are endless. But with great power comes great responsibility, and it's crucial to consider the ethical implications of these advancements. But here's the thing. Even if AI influencers take over, the real question remains, what are we willing to watch? As consumers, we have the power to shape the future of influencer culture. Will we embrace these digital creations, or will we continue to value the authenticity and relatability of human influencers? The choice is ours, and it will ultimately determine the direction of this rapidly evolving industry. What lines are we willing to cross in the name of entertainment? The rise of AI influencers raises important questions about the ethical boundaries of entertainment. Are we comfortable with the idea of digital personas influencing our opinions and behaviors? And what happens when the line between reality and virtuality becomes increasingly blurred? These are questions that we, as a society, need to grapple with as we move forward. Are we really okay with a world where our idols are nothing more than pixels on a screen, programmed to sell us products and keep us entertained? The commercialization of AI influencers is a double-edged sword. On one hand, they offer a new and innovative way for brands to reach their audiences. On the other hand, they represent a shift away from genuine human connection and authenticity. It's a trade-off that we need to carefully consider. Or is there hope for a future where authenticity and genuine connection still matter? Despite the rise of AI influencers, there is still a strong demand for real human influencers who can connect with their audiences on a personal level. These influencers bring a sense of authenticity and relatability that digital personas simply can't replicate. They share their real-life experiences, struggles, and triumphs, creating a bond with their followers that goes beyond mere entertainment. where influencers use their platforms for good, to inspire, to educate, to make a real difference. The true power of influencer culture lies in its ability to inspire positive change. Many influencers use their platforms to raise awareness about important issues, educate their followers, and promote social good. As we navigate the future of influencer culture, it's important to remember the potential for influencers to make a meaningful impact on the world. Whether they are human or AI, the goal should always be to inspire, educate, and uplift. So, influencers, love them, hate them, or roll your eyes at them, one thing's for sure, they're here to stay. But should there be more responsibility, a code of conduct, or is it all just a game for views? What do you think? Should influencers be held accountable, or is this just the new normal? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, hit like, share with your friends, and subscribe for more crazy deep dives into the world of viral content. Stay curious and stay viral.